Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome to this video of We're Gonna Watch a Disney Channel Movie. Now, I'll be honest, I've never actually watched that many Disney Channel movies, and yeah, I know, I am the worst human being in the history of ever, but I want to change that. Now, as a 21-year-old man who has nothing better to do than watch movies made for children for the internet, and I love it. I feel like going back and watching these movies without any sense of nostalgia or like rose-tinted glasses makes it so much more of a roller coaster of emotions for me. But today, we will be looking at Geek Charming, which came out in 2011, starring that one girl from Modern Family, and this other guy who was in 2 High School Musical movies, what the frick, and a Brendan Fraser movie, what? But once I heard the title of this movie, I knew I had to check it out. I mean, Geek Charming? It's beautiful. We open the movie with present-day household lady winning the Blossom Queen crown, which is described as
the most important crown that any girl can ever wear.
Which kind of sets the tone a little bit. We also get the most underwhelming title card ever. It just appears and then disappears. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first watched this, I didn't believe her name was Dylan, and I fully expected it to just pan over and there'd be some random dude named Dylan that just won the contest instead, which would have immediately made this my favorite movie ever. But it turns out, it was all a dream.
Dylan! Dylan!
Yes, Principal Guthrie?
The Blossom Queen campaign application.
Has that ever actually happened to anyone ever? Mid-conversation, or in this case, in the middle of someone handing you something? Have you ever just zoned out into an imaginary world that you had to be scared awake from? Because this happens in too many movies for it not to be real. So we get a scene where she goes through the cafeteria and tells us about all the different groups. We've got the drama club, the wearing the shirt that the contemporary brood girl wore last summer group.
Ooh, the very shirt I introduced last semester. Followers.
The indie rock wannabes, and the film club nerds, who are all sat there recording like everything. There's no way that she's getting good footage from that. We also find out that she has some competition in the run for Blossom Queen, because of course she does. Nicole Patterson's her name, and being kind of important to the story but not really is her game. And now we see where all the cool kids hang out. On the ramp, where the sexiest guy in school, who definitely isn't 25, is sitting. His name is Asher, and I know. And he is Dylan's boyfriend.
You geek! This is designer!
No, it's tuna noodle casserole.
Oh no! What a stupid geek that is in no way charming whatsoever. But this is Josh. He is our geek and one of the film club nerds. And when talking about the popular group to the other disgusting film-obsessed nerds, they say this.
You need a passport to go in there.
Passport? I need a robot army with level 83 Dragon Slayer skills.
Which is so stupid. Why would a robot army ever choose to develop their Dragon Slayer skills? They'd clearly put all of their time into developing radiation emitters that would end humanity and leave them perfectly fine, which in turn would kill the dragons. Think, film nerd number 3. And the one girl character in the film club is insanely obsessed with Josh.
Fully understand the populars and the way their strange vortex.
I'd go out with you.
Because I don't have time for dating. A film that establishes me as the next.
Which is never brought up again for the rest of the movie. Just like this guy inventing stuff.
Oh! Okay, what are you inventing now? Artificial intelligence chess.
You know, he just sat around trying to eat and that one friend just keeps inventing things? It's so relatable. We also find out that Josh fancies this girl called Amy.
Amy. Cool guitar case.
Who used to be Dylan's best friend. But we find out later in the movie that they're not best friends because Dylan wanted to be popular and Amy was too cool. And every time we see her, she's in slow motion. And I like to imagine that's just how she walks around all the time. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Yeah, Steve, this is actually an intervention because just all this slow-mo walking stuff, it just has to stop, okay? And look, we love you so much. And no, Steve, don't run away, come back. But the school is hosting a film festival, and Josh really wants to win it because the first prize gets a summer trip to a film club in Hollywood, which is actually a pretty insane prize. And he chooses to make a documentary about none other than Dylan, current bloodline Schoenfield. He decides this after a whole thing with a water fountain and a bag, which I mean, makes sense. And directly after this water fountain scene, we get a pretty heavy and depressing scene where Dylan explains that her mum died and how much she misses her, which I mean is quite the tonal shift. And this happens a lot in this movie. We go from super happy and goofy stuff to like real upsetting themes in like 2 seconds. And to prove my point, this happens.
Hey, Mouse, who'd you bark at today, buddy? Who'd you bark at today? Who'd you bark at today?
We go from Dylan crying and holding her dead mum's clothes in her arms, straight to very happy times with the biggest dog known to man. What am I supposed to be feeling? So in order to film this documentary, Josh obviously needs to hang around Dylan, which means he gets to go to the cool table. Where he immediately almost gets knocked out by two definitely not 25-year-old twins.
Coming to watch me play volleyball?
Dylan, he's blocking your light.
Why is there talking nerd here?
Asher, we downloaded this.
Did she just say that we downloaded this?
Asher, we downloaded this.
Is Asher a robot? Actually, that would make a lot of sense. Like, just look at it. So now we're at one of Asher's volleyball games, because we obviously want to be on Ashertron's good side for when he eventually takes over the planet. And considering half the cast are meant to be filmmakers, we get some terrible shots. Like, this is just a man's head. But this is where Josh finally talks to Amy, the girl he has wanted to be with for years. And he's super charming.
Saving the environment? Go green. Hey, doing okay? Amy and I had our first real conversation.
Apparently that's the first time that they've ever spoken. Like, bro, you've had years of you guys being in the same school, and you've never even attempted to speak to her?
Victory means Pizza Land! 2 large meat volcanoes, triple cheese.
I called ahead and got us all reservations to the new sushi place downtown.
Raw fish.
Rope!
Have fun with that.
So this guy that's obsessed with being fit and healthy would rather go and eat a frick ton of pizza than sushi. Makes sense. Then there's some drama. Josh calls Dylan a diva.
Diva! I called you a diva.
Precious cargo here, buddy, and don't ever call me that word again.
What, diva? D-I-V-A. What's that spell? Oh, that's right, diva!
Which she is. And kicks her off of his movie.
I'll fire you from my movie.
It's my movie. I'm the director. If anyone's fired, it's you diva.
But since Josh needs Dylan to actually make the movie, and Dylan needs Josh because the movie is going to help her win Blossom Queen, because it's basically one big advert for her. She goes against everything she believes in, dresses like a nerd, and goes to see a movie with the film nerd crew. And it seems like the writers were desperately trying to show how nerdy these characters are meant to be by cramming in industry terms like this.
I question the notion that the protagonist didn't age.
There is no plot if he did grow older. It's called a movie.
Well, they didn't explain that in the exposition, did they?
And where's your suspension of disbelief?
No.
You want to have it?
And if you were a film nerd, you wouldn't really want everything in exposition, let alone what seems to be like very important aspects of the movie. You'd want to learn and piece these things together through the story and everything else, not just straight up being told by the characters.
It's called time dilation, people. As Einstein theorized in the twin paradox, the passage of time is linked to the speed of the observer, meaning that traveling to and from the planet Phelan 250 times the speed of light would virtually suspend aging. Duh.
Oh my god! Dylan's actually super smart. What? That's such a plot twist. So now we have a scene where Dylan and Josh are clearly just flirting with each other. She invites him into her house and gets silly goofy mode all over the place.
Hey! You want to get your ice cream in there, but you want a variety of ice cream. So you think that's gummy bears!
Which is so weird because she has a boyfriend and Josh wants to be with Amy. So why are they flirting? And this whole dynamic gets quite frustrating as the film goes on, because you can clearly see that they actually like each other. And again, right after this very happy fun time, we get another heavy scene where Dylan explains that she wants to win Blossom Queen so much because her mum, that died, remember, won Blossom Queen too. And again, this super sad scene immediately cuts to a very happy makeover scene where Josh tries on a bunch of different outfits with so many hats, like an ungodly amount of hats. What's with Disney movies and hats? And now we have a whole new look for our boy Josh, which gets the attention of all the girls at school.
Wow, Josh, you look adorable.
And it gives him the confidence to finally ask out Amy. And Dylan watches this whilst Asher, her boyfriend, is super mad at her for missing a volleyball game.
You missed my game. I did get my own water.
He's so angry, it's actually kind of scary. I don't care if she gets with Josh or not. She just needs to get away from Asher Bot 3000. And now Dylan is meeting Josh's mum, where they horrendously flirt directly in front of his mum. And isn't that really awkward? But surely you can see what I mean about the romances getting frustrating and confusing. Because then Dylan's dad, who is super rich and owns the mall that Josh works in, invites him round and openly wants him to date Dylan.
I figured it was time to meet this new boyfriend of yours.
It's not my boyfriend, Duck Hole.
I tried to tell him that, Dill.
We're just friends. He's making my movie.
Your daughter helped me land a day for this Saturday.
They even become burp bros. And those are the most pathetic burps I've ever heard. I was hoping for burpsound.mp3. Josh and Amy then go on their date to a party that Asher is throwing in his house in the middle of the day, where everyone is drinking lemonade, so the worst party to ever exist. But look at this house! It's Thunderbird's Tracy Island level of crazy, where Asher is ignoring Dylan because he's listening to music through headphones directly next to the DJ booth. What's the point? Maybe that's how he updates his system, and when he finishes, he will be one step closer to his goal of global domination. We get to see Josh's skills on the dance floor, busting out his greatest moves. If she doesn't want to get with him after seeing those moves, then she's clinically insane. But because Dylan is so upset, Josh goes to check on her, and things get a little steamy.
Hello?
Dylan had something in her contact.
You wear contacts?
No, don't be silly. Contacts? I have Toad's perfect vision. Josh was
Just leaving.
Honestly, I've got to side with Asher Prime, leader of the Autobots here. Josh came to his party at his house and went to kiss his girlfriend. Asher is a terrible cyborg, don't get me wrong, but that's fair. And when Josh drives Amy home at 3 PM after the party, this happens.
Would you want to go to this spring formal with me?
Thanks, Josh, but no. Look, I don't think you're secretly dating Dylan, but I think you want to.
N-O spells no.
Just get with Dylan, come on, man. And if things couldn't get any worse, now Dylan has to go to school in her glasses, which is apparently a lot worse than it sounds because Asher immediately breaks up with her.
breaking up with me in a note.
You've changed. You hang with nerds now, you're even dressing like one.
Josh tells Dylan that he can't see her for a bit because he has to edit the movie, which Dylan gets annoyed about, even though the entire reason you were shooting this movie was to release a movie. And in order to release a movie, he needs to edit the movie. So she shouldn't be this upset by that. And it's completely unrelated, but this is said.
The Mummy, original or remake?
Original, directed by Carl Freund. Remake, directed by Steven Sommers. I would say original.
Remake.
And as someone who has permanently marked their body with a symbol from the Mummy, I have to say that Josh is 100% correct. But now, it is time for the film festival.
Well, thank you, Josie Bell Bruno, for that fascinating film about your pet hamster.
And I don't care about Josh's movie, I want to see the rest of that. But we see his movie, and the first half of it is kind of just pointing and laughing at Dylan. So she runs out crying, but the second half of his film is actually all about how she's really amazing, which makes everybody in the audience cry. And now everyone loves her again, even though she's wearing glasses, which by this universe's rules usually means that she deserves to be thrown into a volcano. And now we're finally at the spring formal, and you'll never guess who wins Blossom Queen. Josh! No, it's Dylan, obviously. She gives a lovely speech, and they kiss! Yippee!
So, I'm thinking sequel?
Sequels are never as good as the original. Everyone knows that.
And that is the end of the film. I can see what they were going for, making the relationships have some more tension by having the main characters figure out that they really like each other and coming together in the end. But the way they did it was just so frustrating. The second half of this movie just has a lot of conflict and every character just hates each other, which makes it a bit stressful, but in the end, it's a movie. So thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I've got loads of other videos that you could check out, and it really does mean a lot to me. And if you do, then I will film a documentary about you, but I'm allowed to portray you however I want. Hope you like everyone thinking you're a psychotic murderer. Have a great day.